morning and welcome to our kitchen. I'm Gordy Galusha.
I'm Nancy Ostrich.
And today we're going to be making a beef and broccoli noodle toss and a chocolate chip cookie pie. And I'm going to begin because mine has to bake for a little while, so I'm going to start.
I think we're at 252.
Yes, this is our 252nd one. Jeez, can you believe it? I can't. Well, anyway.
How are we getting all those recipes, huh?
I know. I have recipes coming out the window. Oh, in my bowl I have a 1 3/4 cup of butter, and I have a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and a 1/2 cup of white sugar, and I'm going to mix my eggs in there. I have 2 eggs going in. Okay, that's my butter, my white sugar, and my brown sugar mixed up. Next, I am going to stir in my flour, my eggs, it doesn't take very long to make this, but it takes a long time to bake in the oven. So there's my 2 eggs. And my salt was in my flour, so I'm going to mix this up. Okay, I'm going to scrape these sides down. Okay, and then I'm going to fold in 6 ounces of chocolate chips. Okay. Before I started making my batter, I had a Pillsbury dough, a Pillsbury pie shell, and I put it in my pie plate. Now I'm going to turn this into my pie plate. Okay. And this is all to make this chocolate chip cookie pie. And it goes into a 325 oven for 55 minutes. Okay, got that done. We'll return it to Nancy.
Okay, now I can start with my beef and broccoli noodle toss. First of all, I'm going to mix in this bowl a cup of beef broth, a 1/4 cup of soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of honey, What I could have done with this is, remember, spray your measuring cup with some like cooking oil, spray oil, and then all that honey will just flow out of there. Okay, 3 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. And I had some years ago, so I had to go buy some more. It's a very light vinegar. 1, 2.
Don't really use that much.
No, I don't.
Use it that much.
I don't do a lot of Chinese cooking. Every once in a while. And this one that I've got is sodium-free and sugar-free, so you can get one that's got some sodium and some sugar in it. 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. This is another thing I don't have usually on hand, and I didn't buy any, so I'm using some canola oil. And 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. And 4 cloves of garlic. And I need a fork, which is how I measure my cloves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. So you want to whisk that all together. Meanwhile, I've started to heat up a large fry pan. Right now, you're going to set this liquid aside. And in my fry pan, I want to heat 2 tablespoons of oil. And I'm going to saute for about 5 minutes, or stir fry, however you would like to call it. A half a head, this is probably about 2 cups at least of broccoli, fresh broccoli flowerets. And a half onion, slivered. Now, it doesn't say whether it's a small or a medium or a large onion, so I guess you have to decide how much onion you want. Mine was a small onion, small to medium. And slivering it, I just sliced it very thin. So, we're going to break because this is going to take 5 minutes or so while this cooks up. So, we will break and I will continue to cook my vegetables. So, I wouldn't have to break again. I cooked the broccoli at least maybe 10 minutes or so. Depending on how, if you like al dente vegetables, check your broccoli, because it's going to take more than 5 minutes if you like it, your broccoli a little soft. So after that, I have about a pound of top round steak that you can get it just in the steak, and you cut it in thinly sliced strips. So I added that to the broccoli and onion mixture, and most of it now is browned. Before, when I was cooking the broccoli and onion, I did add a little bit more oil because it was getting a little dry. But now that the meat is in it, the juices come out of the meat, and I think we're okay. So I cooked the meat down, and now I'm going to add the mixture that I made up first with the beef broth, the soy sauce, the honey, the rice wine vinegar, some sesame oil if you keep it on hand or want to buy it. And I use some regular canola oil, 1 tablespoon. Some light brown sugar, garlic minced, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. This I'm going to add to my vegetables and meat. And we're going to slowly bring that up to a simmer. And you know what's going to happen at that point with the cornstarch. We're going to get a thickening of the gravy in here. So that's going to take a few minutes. Meanwhile, too, I am going to heat up a pan of water. And I'm going to boil up 2 ramen noodles, but no flavor packet, just the noodles. And they'll cook for, 2 to 3 minutes. They will be drained. And we just want to soften them up, and then add it to our meat mixture. So with that, I've got to wait till this boils and cook those up and stir this around and let that thicken. So when that's done, I think we might even be at our table at that point, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, take our break. Welcome back to our table. We have 2 good, yummy looking dishes that we did today. Mine was a beef and broccoli noodle toss, and it incorporated ramen noodles, which you know your kids love, particularly going to college or starting out in a job. They can't afford to eat anything but ramen noodles. However, we did not use the packet, which brings the sodium level up to sky high. So basically what I started out, I made a marinade type sauce with beef broth and soy sauce and honey and rice wine vinegar, brown sugar, garlic, and then cornstarch. Mix that all together and put it aside. Meanwhile, I heated a large skillet, and I sautéed broccoli and onion in it for 10 minutes or so to cook the broccoli. Depending on how you like your broccoli, al dente or softer, kind of depends on how long you cook those vegetables. To that, I added about a pound of top round steak, which I cut in thin strips, and browned that up with the vegetables. when that was completed, I added that marinade that I had put together in the beginning. And you cook that down, and it's going to thicken up because of the cornstarch. Meanwhile, when you're ready to serve it, you take your 2 packages of the ramen noodles and boil them for 2 to 3 minutes without the packet. I just want the noodles, drained them, and then incorporated them into our beef and broccoli mixture. Tossed it up nicely, put it on a serving plate, and then sprinkled the white here are sesame seeds. So this is my finished product, and I've taken a little taste of the sauce, and I think it tastes pretty good. So
Looks good.
on
Looks
to
very good.
dessert.
Okay, today I made a chocolate chip cookie pie, and I started out with a Pillsbury pie crust. You can make your own if you like, but this is quicker and easier to do it this way here. And it's got unsalted butter and flour and sugar and brown sugar and salt and eggs and chocolate chips. You flatten out your pie crust, put it in your pie plate, make the inside, and pour it in your pie plate. It doesn't take very long, probably maybe 4 minutes. And you mix up all your ingredients, put them in your pie shell, put it in the oven for 50 to 55 minutes on 325. But I did start it out on 325, but I turned it up so we could have it for our lunch. So this is the pecan. This is a chocolate chip cookie pie. My daughter makes them all the time for Christmas, and I thought, probably it would be nice for a picnic or a party or whatever you want, or even a home dessert is fine too. So if you'd like any of these,
Recipes.
okay, any of these delicious recipes, please send a self-addressed envelope to Dalton Community Cable, 151 Park Avenue, Dalton, Mass. 01226, and that's all from our kitchen today. Have a great day.